In the early days of the coronavirus pandemic, some friends in the West shrugged the virus off as a China problem until they find out that Apple limited global iPhone sales after Foxconn shut down its China factories. And Australian lobster prices plummeted from $90 a kilo to just $20 after their biggest buyer, China, closed virtually all its restaurants. Now, as the virus hits Western countries, some Chinese are gloating. Well, bear in mind that there are millions of Chinese now living and working overseas, including 360,000 Chinese students in the US alone. And China's exports dropped 17% in February because of weaker demand from its coronavirus-hit trading partners. This map shows how interconnected and complex the supply chain is for the most common items we buy, while this graphic shows global air traffic on a given day. I know, you're looking at 220,000 flights. Now, in response to this pandemic, there are reinforced borders, halted commercial and trade, rising xenophobia, and politicization. Will all this lead to the end of globalization as we know it? Maybe not. Data shows that since the Second World War, trade disruptions caused by geopolitical tensions and natural disasters were short-lived. The comparative advantage theory shows that people always tend to trade if it benefited them. In a similar vein, investments, more often than not, flow to where they're most profitable. For example, despite Brexit negotiations, the EU economic integration picked up when the remaining members had their cross-border investment increase by 43% in 2019. Brexit even spurred more British investment in Europe with an increase of 12%. We're not even talking about the biggest story of our day, trade in services like data. After all, these days we're more likely to stream Shakira's music on our phone or watch Leonardo DiCaprio online than to buy a CD or DVD. Cross-border data flows spiked in the past decade, so are royalties and licensing fees that are among the fastest-growing trade item globally. And to speak nothing of the fact that people want to travel, and there's quite some pent-up demand for that. So we are living in a global community of shared destiny. And when this crisis is over, we may find new confirmation of what we always heard about globalization. It is easy to hate and impossible to stop.